Hey, welcome to the Hired AV podcast. My name is Joe Way, and I am your host. And boy, do we have a good one for you today. I'm really excited. You know what? This is now 3 weeks in a row, everybody. 3 weeks in a row. And I said, I'm kicking this baby back up again. And I am really excited. Because we're really back to the roots. If we kind of look at what like HETMA has done over the last couple of months with our road to 10K and getting into our themed months and really getting back to the roots of who we are and building a community. And that said, you know what? I got to get back into my show and really get it going. I know people said this is episode number 327, and how can I get back into it? Well, life takes over, things happen, and you get little hiatuses. But we're back and we are solid, and I am really excited about this episode because there are some times where I get on the HETMA community and you see people who are active and commenting and all that, and you go, wait, I gotta get to know this person more. And the best way to get to know somebody is bring them on the show and ask them random questions for 30 minutes. So, Daniel, welcome to the show. Please tell everybody who you are and what you do.
All right, so my name is Daniel Wray. I am audiovisual field tech at Virginia State University. I've been in the industry roughly 4 to 5 years. A Full Sail University graduate, audio production degree. Just pretty much a sound guy. Passion for music got me into the field, and from there, I just ended up working at schools and universities. I'm happy to be where I am, and I've really enjoyed the journey to get into where I am.
I love it. I love it. And so I can tell you are a like audio, a sound guy at heart because, okay, a little behind the scenes. We first joined this call, we going with the AirPods, and in like 5 minutes, you're like, nope, we're ripping out the mic, plugging it in, get a little SIM58 going there, getting everything pulled in. So talk a little bit about, let's start at the beginning. We're going to get to what you do every day, but I love when I talk, you said about 5 years or so. So I love kind of talking about what kind of got people into it. So what was your drive at Full Sail to kind of go into there? What drove you into the industry? So we'll start with that one, then we'll get the process into your working.
Okay, well, I went to school. I was an athlete in school. Um, I used to go to a lot of the parties on campus and things of that nature. I just would like perform songs for my friends inside of the parties, and I had a passion for writing. I just started writing. I would just take instrumentals from online and just write music all day and just write and write, and everyone kind of knew me for that. And so I was kind of looking to see where my career would go, and I had a mentor who kind of told me, "Hey, why don't you try enrolling in Full Sail? You can go to there, and they'll give you all of the equipment that you need to do the things that you already love to do." So that's kind of what got me in, and from there, I just got open to a whole new, a world of music theory and production and arrangements, and then you get into post production and all kinds of things that I didn't even know that I would come across. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And so then kind of into the AV side then. Now what was that drive? Because it was very similar to me. I originally went to USC in 1991 for recording engineering, right? But I always then ended up spending my time, and of course recording engineering is close. It's AV-ish, right? But I always got more into the full kind of production side. So what was that drive to then go, okay, this is the niche within this larger vertical that you like?
It really kind of just found me. I was just online, just searching for jobs. I was looking at a few studios because that's where I thought I would be, working inside of a studio or working with a label or something like that. So once I was putting applications out there, um, what got back to me was working at Encore. So I started working doing corporate
Ooh.
AV. So that's kind of what got me more into doing the corporate side of AV. From there, and I kind of already had that corporate experience, so it just kind of looked good on the resume when it came to getting into these universities.
Yeah. All right. So kind of what was the draw and especially working a lot of people, especially here. I'm in LA, so a lot of corporate, Encore and PSAV, all these things, right? Those are the cores. So what was that drive then? Talk about the difference then stepping into higher ed. What would you like? What were the challenges? Kind of those differences.
It was very challenging at first because I felt like it was so slow compared to what I was doing in live, events. It was just, especially I guess more of the live stuff related more to what I was doing in Full Sail because I still kind of had that pace. It was a little bit more innovative and creative. which higher ed ended up being too. It just kind of had to grow on me a little bit. So when I first got
Mhm.
in, I had to get used to the pace because in live you don't have really a lot of time to kind of troubleshoot and go through certain steps. It's like, hey, we got a performer on stage. We got to fix these problems. We got to fix the EQ. We got to fix the gain stage, whatever. It's just it's one and done. You don't have a second chance. Dealing with higher ed, you're dealing with a lot of meetings and consulting with other people before you actually decide upon something you want to do. I'm like, oh, well, it's much different than from being in front of house, running a board.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so funny because now this is now the second time in 3 weeks this has been brought up, that about the difference in pace between live events and higher ed, and be able to make that transition to understand it just moves slower.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's less important necessarily. It's just different. And I
Yes.
know, I had that same thing of being, that challenge of one to there. So how did you kind of overcome that and say, all right, corporate's just different, or higher ed definitely different?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, working in higher ed, it paid me better.
Money fixes everything.
Money fixes everything. I mean, that's the honest truth. That's what it was. And also, it kind of, like I did, it did actually grow on me, and I kind of got used to how that pace was to where I learned how to kind of curate my own, I guess, thrills, so to speak, or so my own high points within the workflow. So yeah, it's kind of I like it now. I love it now, actually.
All right, so give me your day in the life. What is your actual role? Because in higher ed, there is a lot of different things from events and classroom sports, et cetera. So explain your kind of daily role.
So it's two of us in the AV department at the campus. I work with the AV manager, and I primarily work in the field where we were pretty much working over like 100 classrooms on campus, maybe 3 event spaces, numerous conference rooms. So we go in, we set up boards, we go in, we troubleshoot the podiums and the systems. We have like a Crestron and Extron
Mm-hmm.
campus. So we're dealing with vendors, having these meetings, trying to vet who's doing the best jobs and going in commissioning. And I actually have a meeting tomorrow to work on this. Like I guess you can call it some sort of like a outdoor, but it's indoors, but it's like a theater inside of like a recreational building for the students. So it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a smaller scale theater, and we're trying to make sure that we're going in and make sure that the panel is working the way it needs to. Just going in commissioning is a big thing what we're doing right now. We just opened up a new building. It's the biggest building in the history. Uh, that building is we have a black box theater in there. We got all kinds of specialty classrooms. We got a gymnasium, a pool. So we're just trying to find out creative ways to kind of get everything everybody wants, but have the money to do it. That's the
That's a whole other topic there, right? Does the budget match the dream, right?
right.
But actually, so did you say there's only two of y'all in
It's only two of us, yes,
for the whole campus?
for the whole campus.
And is that support and everything too?
That's support. Of course, we have field service people, we have
Feels.
networking people, so we're not doing all of the
Mm-hmm.
deployments and things of that nature. But as far as overseeing the classrooms, yes, and the AV in the classrooms, it's just two of us. Yeah.
I have mad respect for y'all that can do that. Like I sit there. I've got a large staff and still complain it's not enough. When I hear about the 1 man, 2 man band, I mean, just mad props to pull that off. So what is the secret? Because you're not the only one in that situation. How
Hmm.
do you take that, do it at school like yours, and
Yeah.
be able to pull that off without wanting to like die at the end of every day?
I would say kind of the way we interact, the culture kind of helps. Where no, it's very kind of laid back environment. People are understanding, and then also the manager I work with, me and him, we kind of work we're very well together. What he misses, I catch. What I miss, he catches.
Mm.
We work well in tandem, and it's kind of we we help each other. We put people first. People know who we are. They trust us, and they know we're doing our best behind the scenes. So we try our best not to stress ourselves out. Of course, you have your moments, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that. I love that because I think there's nothing more important than a team you can work with and be strong with and rely on, especially when it comes to your management and your leadership. So I think that is totally key. So you kind of just mentioned something about kind of people trusting you and your customers trusting you. How do you build that?
Well, like I said, you put them first. People calling me sometimes. I go right out. It might not even be a formal. We have a ticketing system we
Mm-hmm.
use pretty much. We use ServiceNow. We use ticketing system to get calls around campus where classroom technology is not acting right, or maybe it's usually something simple. Every once in a while, there's something that's we're working on in the background and needed to be upgraded already. And it's just kind of getting that communication out there. But yeah, that's more the cases I put a lot of effort into sticking with jobs, with working with clients, um, kind of going the extra mile, as you can say. That's the thing. That's the thing I
Mm-hmm.
value. That's how you build their trust, and people see you as that, and they know that I'm not just a person throwing around jargon at you, and I'm actually here to help you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. I think really all of things come down to that customer service. That's one thing I tell my staff. We are not in the tech industry. We are not in the AV industry. We are in a customer service industry,
Yeah.
right? And taking that mentality and putting that in there. So you said, I want to go back to something else you said. You are a Crestron, you're an extra. Sounds like you're a hodgepodge campus there. And you're not rare, okay? There's probably a whole heck of a lot of that.
Okay.
So since you're there too, how do you then, you mentioned working vendor, stuff like that. What is that secret? How do you kind of plan? Because most people want full standardization. How do
Yeah.
you manage that? Kind of what is your aspect? And maybe you're in the process of that. I don't know. Kind of where are you on that? How do you take that? What do you make those decisions?
Well, we have our standards as far as how we want everything to look. Mainly starting with the touch panels because that's the most our front end for the users is making sure that all the images look the same, all labeling and text is the same on across all the devices, even the Extron and the Crestron. So you could kind of say that the Extrons all look alike and the Crestrons all look alike. And of course, in a perfect world, we would love to just have one of them and just have more uniformity. But unfortunately, Extron, by the time we came into the role, Extron was already being implemented. So we kind of had to just roll with the punches and do the best we
Hmm.
can.
And you're right, they all look alike. All the Extrons are that dark gray, and all the Crestrons are the black. The mismatched colors within each manufacturer. No. So, so you started by saying that you've been here. You said 5 years in the AV industry.
Yes,
Then
right.
within the higher and kind of serving that way. Where do you go from? What's the area? I mean, there's so many different things that we can do from programming to support to design to engineering. Where are you finding your heart landing and kind of wanting to keep developing into?
Right now, I'm leaning more towards programming. Me having the audio background, I'm having a lot of conversations with the vendors who are programmers, asking them questions as far as the DSPs are concerned, dealing with the Tessera Forte or
Mm-hmm.
QSys, whatever. I'm just asking a bunch of questions, and it's kind of like piquing my interest a lot to the point where I'm actually doing trainings now on Tessera's website, trying to get as much information as I can. So yeah, that's where I'm leaning more towards is programming. Yeah.
Awesome. I gotta tell you, if I had to program, I can too. Gotten all my certifications, but boy, I only did it so I could put it on a resume.
Oh
I
man.
don't know how you programmers, coders do it. Staring at that screen, it's all, yeah. Well, it's all ones and zeros to me.
See, I am kind of worried about that because I do. I'm more. I like the customer side too. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm wondering if I go that route, am I like gonna compromise that balance? That I like. Is it just going to be one sided? So that is in the back of my mind. But for now, I'm just going to do what I can.
You make a good point. It's funny because I was actually on a call this morning. That where we were working with our UI UX team along with our programmers, and they made one of the director of that department made an interesting comment, and he said, our programmers don't necessarily make good UI people, or good UI people don't always make good programmers. So it's important we continue to work together like that, which I love. But the kind of the core of that, which is where I'd say where you probably have an advantage, like don't lose that customer service side. because you can be the advocate, right? It is easy to code and code and code, and what can we do, and we can add this and get into that, but being able to have that mind of going, okay, how is what we're doing in fact impacting our customer?
Yeah.
Are we making it too difficult? Are we doing too much? Or whatever? Or are we even paying attention? And be able to come back to that mindset, I think is something that can definitely take you far.
Oh, wow. Absolutely. I agree. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and I should have added a question in there. So sorry. You get the host you get of the show, right? So in programming, what are you finding? The sponsors are going to hate this. Which ones do you like? Where are you liking most? Do you go in with the Extron guys? You go in Crestron guys? You go in QSys? Are you going C# and going full? Let's just go full code. Where are you at?
No, I'm not full code. I'm not full code, to be honest. I'm strictly dealing with Tessera Forte right now, and really,
All right.
and really more.
Get some buying people some love.
Yeah, give them some. Yeah, give them some love. Really, a lot of watching, a lot of observing what they're doing, and seeing their process, and that's what I'm doing right now. Just absorbing everything more than I am actually out here. I'm not full-fledged yet. No.
Hey, that's all right. It all takes steps. But I do love what you said. Like, it's so interesting that I love kind of your trajectory and finding where you're liking, but also kind of being that jack of all trades first. Like, and being able to do everything, because I think it's so important, going back to what I was just saying with the customer service side and not losing that. When you understand what you do, how it impacts so many different areas, then you can obviously be more effective, right? Because now you understand what the support people are going to go through when they're trying to troubleshoot what you're programming or what you're installing and stuff like that, right? I think that goes so far. And so, anyway, I think that's great. Let's. I want to go to now. I mean, I've seen you so active on the HEPMA stuff and all that. So talk about that first. How did you find it? How did you get involved? Talk about the value of that community.
Wow. So actually, at Virginia State, my old lead told me about HEPMA. So she sent me a text. She's like, she knew I was kind of like doing a bunch of gig work, bouncing around, and she told me about HEPMA. And then I went on there, answered all of the questions. I didn't know that I would be exposed to this kind of community. I had no idea it was going to be what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just had a good relationship with her and a good rapport with her, and then anything she throws my way, I'm going to take a shot at, and I'm happy I did.
Well, I'm happy you did too. So where are you finding the most value in the community right now?
In the community, I think I like seeing how everyone else is thinking and seeing the situations people are in, seeing the similarities, even though we may be in very different environments, seeing the similarities. People all across the world, you got people coming from all backgrounds and races, and men and women, everybody. I like seeing that. And especially in the AV field, I like seeing that diversity. And a lot of those questions, a lot of those polls is what got me. I'm like, let me think of something funny to say to this. Let me think of something creative to say to this. And even reading someone else's comment, and I'm like, oh, okay, look, they said this, so let me try and say. It was just the interaction and just kind of having that, that fun.
I love that. And the thing is you're right on it. One of the things I noticed, it's funny, because I think I said this a couple weeks ago too, was like, I just came back from, speaking at Infocom Asia, right? And I'm on a panel, and we have people from, 4 or 5 different countries, and yet, very different, from Southeast Asia, Australia, United States, right? We all had the same problems. Mm-hmm. We all came together, but we're talking very different cultures, very different business setups, very different mentalities, very different, languages, races, etc. Right? And you're sitting there going, but we all come down to the core same things. We're just trying to get this PowerPoint up to that screen. That's all we're all doing.
Yes.
Yes. And so, when you see the HEPA community, and you see the the polls, it's funny to sit there and go, dang, yeah. Even when people kind of give the horror stories or the whatever, like, yeah, I've been there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then, kind of with that, then, getting in, what is your, you've been with it. What is your kind of your favorite? Where are you finding the most value and your kind of your favorite part of it and the community, and how have you seen it impact you thus far, even in a short amount of time?
I would say the mentorship I'm in right now, the mentorship I receive is having the Prism Scholarship, being a part of that,
Mm-hmm.
the mentorship. We're doing bi-weekly meetings now, and kind of having I was showing him my mentor around like the classroom, just sharing my like showing flipping the screen around, flipping the
Mm-hmm.
image around, showing him the classroom, and then kind of being around people who just know so much. Like a mentor, he knows so much about every little aspect of AV, and I'm just like, wow, he like all the way down from the screws to the bolts to the actual, electronics and the equipment is just so much information. So that's what I'm finding. It's just being exposed to so many different ways to look at situations. So yeah.
I love that, and it's so funny because back when I started in the industry, way back when, as a youngin, I remember 12, 13 years old, carrying gear into the lot. I guess I was underage, carrying gear into the clubs in Hollywood, but nonetheless, things were a little less strict back then. And you were a roadie. You grabbed stuff, you grabbed a speaker, you stuck it in for somebody just so they would let you stand there at the soundboard and learn. And that like apprenticeship model is how we used to learn, right? Like going to school, getting an education for this is relatively new, right?
Yeah.
Even in AV, we don't really have AV, right? We have music theory, like, and we have that type of stuff, but we don't necessarily even have much AV. It's great with like some of the initiatives are doing next level and stuff, but there's some things where we're really not fully there, and hopefully, like with Hetmo, we'll get the Hex thing going more and get that. But I think that mentorship side and that kind of apprenticeship into earning your stripes. I don't know what the right word is there. I think is so valuable, and I think hopefully that's great to hear that the mentor, having your mentor is helping. Give a shout out to your mentor. Who's your mentor?
Jim Spencer.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Jim.
Yeah, it gets a shout out. Yeah.
All right, Jim from Notre Dame, now at LeGrand,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, yeah, he went Notre Dame to CDW to LeGrand. Look at that, he's getting a full go there. That is awesome. No, you want to talk about a guy who knows his stuff? He does teach and stuff for Avixa and all that. Teaches the
Yeah.
classes at
Yeah. 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 He
InfoComm.
was sharing that with me. Yeah. Yeah.
So that is awesome. All right, so I'm gonna. We're not yet to rapid round, but I'm gonna ask a rapid round type of question. What's the one nugget he's given you that you're like, okay, that's it. There's got to be one little nugget you keep coming back to.
One nugget I keep coming back to. Uh, I don't know. I feel like a lot of our conversations, what he's saying, we're kind of relating already. I'm already thinking it, and then
Mm-hmm.
he says it, so it's more like a confirmation of everything. I'm like, oh, should I do this? Should I approach this design this way, or should I go with a projector screen and projector or display in this room? And then he's kind of sharing the differences between the two. So he's kind of it's more of a I've seen it all, and when you ask me a question, I'm going to I'm going to give you the answer you need. Yeah.
I love that. And you're absolutely right. With like, I think that's in the value of having a good mentor when you get that relationship and you're right on to just that mentality of it and saying, okay, we connect, and that means that also helps your mentor be able to, um, you know, be able to guide you in the right way. Because I think, and I've been in mentor situations before where we just didn't connect,
Hmm.
where it almost felt like I was trying to teach a class but weren't there. But then other times you got them and you going, okay, we're driving. Like we know exactly which path is here. It's almost like the unsaid words are just as valuable as the said words, right?
Absolutely, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So now I want to see if you can give a little bit of advice here then
Mhm.
on, for those who are looking for that mentorship, that next step. Right? You're at that. I mean, I say 5 years is you're not a newbie anymore. You're
No.
not. You're there. You're solid. You're in. But there's still another step to take, right? There's that growth to kind of being that next thing. So for those who are kind of just getting in, maybe they're coming out of a job at Encore. They're coming into, hey, maybe I'm just have it. What's the advice that you would give them to kind of secure it into that point?
Wow. So the best advice I would give is yes, you always want to keep growing. You want to keep learning new skills. But one thing that stuck with me And then it's I had to remind myself every day that you have to enjoy every win, every single moment now. Don't think as if you're missing some experience because it all goes back around. I'm 5 years in, so the stuff I've seen year one and then year five, I'm seeing people who've done this longer than me. I've seen that year one. So, like I said, it
Mm.
all circles back around. So, like, enjoy every day, every minute, every hour. Don't get ahead of yourself, but at the same time, don't sell yourself short. Don't not apply yourself. Keep looking for trainings and certifications and different kinds of AV and different people who are doing different roles that you may want to do in the future. That's always great to be ambitious, but just enjoy the current moment. That's what I would say.
Yeah. I love that advice. I love that advice. Because I often think, gosh, like I think, what did we say earlier when we were setting up your gear? I'm like, you took me back. I'm a desk suit now, right? All I do is, whether I'm at work, I'm just sitting there. I joke that I'm just paid to attend meetings. That's it. I'm paid to attend meetings. Um, and even with Hepma, I'm running the org, right, and doing my little bit there. I don't get involved, so to be able to kind of have that and cherish those days of, that you're in that stage of learning and growing. Absolutely, absolutely love that.
Yes.
That's good. That's good stuff.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I mean, that's good. What was it? You were going to say something?
No, I just said thank you. Thank you for acknowledging that. Yeah, because it's been big on me because I'm like all these years have passed, and I'm like, if you don't learn how to enjoy now, then the future is never enough. The future
Mm.
is never
Oh,
enough to satisfy you.
if I titled episodes, that would be the title.
Mm,
Um, because you're right, the future is never enough, right? And we're always looking at that drive, which is nothing bad about the drive,
right.
nothing bad about going. Like you already said, keep learning, keep going. There's nothing wrong with that,
No.
and we should. But you're right, how often we don't appreciate the today,
Yeah.
right? Oh man, this is good. This is good 4 p.m. stuff for me. 7 p.m. for you, but that's because that is such a, and it's funny because it's actually hits me right now in my job and going. I was actually I was talking to Lex and last week's show that everyone the way we record these, you haven't heard that show yet. Well, now at this point you've heard the show, but anyway, you got what
Yeah.
I'm saying. The but it's that sense of like you do lose kind of sight of the things the tangible things, especially when you're remote or when you're officey or when you step out and saying, okay, let's remember what makes us special. Like to me, what makes things special, the campus. That's the students, that atmosphere, right? Like
Yeah.
that's what makes us special. So
Yeah.
what is your thing? What's the thing that makes this special for you?
Being able to say I was a part of something that's bringing people together for one thing, one common thing, and people from all over the world coming to this university, and I can walk in and see a teacher or professor teaching in class and know all the fires I had to put that to be put out to lead to this, to lead to this smooth going, class now. So that's what does it for me, definitely. Yeah.
I love that. You're right. I mean, and that is the one of the things that I've absolutely loved about, both higher ed and working, and also House of Worship when I did that for a bit. Difference is having purpose.
Hmm.
That I spent most of my career, as a lot of people know, in the business development side of the entertainment industry. It was about me and building my business. That was it. It was bottom dollar. That's what matters. Growth of the business. And while there's value in that, right? A job's a job's a job.
Right.
There's something special about the campus community. There's something special about the purpose behind what we do.
Yes,
I say not all AV is equal. There's something special about higher ed.
I agree.
You know?
Totally agree.
Yeah. I think, wow, you get me. Like this is good. So I want to go to that, and I want to switch a little bit to our rapid round now. The rapid round are just fun questions that have no right or wrong answer unless I have an opinion of my own, in which case there could be a wrong answer.
Mm.
Okay. So now, I think the reason I'm rolling into this is because it fits with what we were just saying. So everyone gets the same first question. So yes, I lied. I do script a little bit. Same first question. Colleges are about tradition. So, what is your favorite college tradition?
Wow. Oh wow, that's a good one. My favorite you mean specific to the college or just colleges overall?
However you want to take it. This is you. This is
My,
all for you.
my favorite college tradition. Uh I'm a oh man, this is big. I'm gonna have to say the sororities and fraternity events on campus.
Yes.
Yes, I'm gonna have to go there. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay. Thank you for getting real on us here.
yeah.
I'm gonna say number one is tailgating. Number two answer is like commencement and moving day. Let's get down to it. It's the fraternity and sororities. Gotcha. I'm there with you. So were you in a house?
I was not. I was not in the house. No, I was not. Uh, but I have so many people around me, like friends and friends of friends that are in that community, cousins and relatives. So growing up with that excitement around, the parties, and I'm like you said, we're getting real. So that's just what it was. The parties, the festive part of it, I guess was, yeah,
All right.
that's
So
definitely
you want to hear? Let me tell you a funny story here. And to
okay.
all the listeners, you don't need to pay attention to this. So we were on the call with a Bixa after our after Infocom, and they said, because we do our booth and our big booth, and we got Loud doing DJ, and we have a happy hour every day for 3 hours. And they're like, well, so how can we improve? And they're like, well, we heard someone say that you guys are more like a fraternity. And I'm like, yeah, that's my line. I'm the one that said we're the fraternity in the back of the room, Like we're here to have some fun and community um but to that point though, the thing is, what's special about the fraternity and sororities, and let me give a shout out to SIGA. There we go. The It's the community that's built, and I think that's what HETMA is about. It's about the community that gets built and this like-minded, whether you are, and like there's a fraternity or sorority for every person, right? And every type of community where you go, where you can say, to coin a Mike Peterson phrase, I found my people,
Yes.
right? Like this is it. And so I love that. I love that. So do you have a good fraternity sorority story?
Do I have a good fraternity? I don't. Honestly, I don't. I don't.
All right,
I
but
don't.
you like their camaraderie
Yes, I
across
do.
campus. All right. There we go. I will there. We will leave it on that. All right.
Okay.
So next question. I am a food and drink person. So let's say I come out and visit you. I'm in the area. I swing by the and where are we going? Where are we eating? What are we drinking?
Ooh. Okay, so I'm a pescatarian. So I only eat fish, some eggs, some dairy. So probably
So
like
basically, I'm starving. No,
ah,
just kidding. I like good seafood. I can do that.
yeah, that's funny. I'm starving. Yeah, yeah, probably at like a seafood restaurant, something like that. Or if not a seafood restaurant, maybe some Chinese, some stir fry, yeah, something like
Okay.
that. Yeah, yeah, maybe.
All right. All right. Well, do you have a go-to spot?
A go-to spot out here. I don't know if it's a name brand spot. I don't know the name of it. I don't know. I can't pronounce it. I had to look at my phone, but I know how to get there. I know how to
Is that
drive.
hole in the wall? Is it hole in the
Yeah,
wall?
and I like those kind of places.
Uh huh.
That's my kind of places. It's like those places that you kind of have no one knows about unless you kind of just happen to drive by and just see. See
Okay. We're together. We're good on this. We're good. All right. Hole in the wall, stir fry. You've got me. Hole in the wall. Even seafood. You got me. Listen. So, dude, I'm a street cart guy. Like literally, you give me a truck on the side of the road, and I'm good to eat. That's there we go. So, more hole in the wall, the better. All right. I like that. I like that a lot. All right. Okay. Next, all right, where are we at? You started by saying that you write music. How many instruments do you play, or whatever, and what are they?
Honestly, since I've been in this, I haven't wrote music in so long. It's been a long time. I wouldn't call it writer's block, but it's just I wrote so many songs in a short amount of time. In a lot of ways, I felt like I was just expressing thoughts on my mind that I just had to be kind of released in a way.
Hmm.
So I guess I'm in a space now where I'm more like supporting other people's writings or thoughts out. So So I don't know. Who knows? That might swing back around. I haven't wrote a song in a long time. Sorry, can you remind me of the question again?
Yeah, you know what? That's fine. I asked about instruments, but I like the answer. So do you
Okay.
play instruments as well, or just write music?
I'm okay with the piano. I'm not a pianist or anything like that, but I can mess around and with some build some chords and some melodies out and things that I have a good ear. Definitely a good ear for music. Definitely a good ear for music.
All right, well, you make sense. It's why you're starting the AV side with the DSPs and getting into the audio. By the way, audio is an art. Audio is an art. So, all right. On that note, then, right now, what are the last 5 songs played on your playlist?
The last 5 songs played on my playlist. Can I grab my phone?
You can grab your phone. Yeah.
Okay, let me see. The last 5 songs played. Wow. Oh.
See what mood you were in.
Let's see what my moves are all over the place. My moves, honestly, my moves are all over the place. I can go from rap to some Afro beats to some jazz to maybe a little mixtures of some rock and roll in there. It depends. So I got the last I played this song earlier by Dougie Fresh.
All right.
Just keep rising to the top. It's an old song. So it's a
Yeah.
nice little sample on there. It just kind of good song to play when you're waking up.
Mm-hmm.
Very very nice song. Let me see the next songs. I kind of got a lot of saved songs on here that I revisit. I'm trying to see what else did I listen to. I think I listened to Big Papa this morning.
Oh, yes. Dude, that is on my pool mix, just so
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
All right, there we go. We're good.
Okay, I listened to that. Let me see what else I got on here.
I think it was a recent HETMA meeting where someone had made that everyone has, like, within 2 songs, you have a song and the same on everyone's phone. Within.
That's interesting. Never happened. Oh, okay. I had Kendrick Lamar on here.
Of course. Yeah.
Got Kendrick Lamar, Man at the Garden on here.
Mm-hmm.
I got a Michael Jackson song on here. Michael Jackson, I don't know. I'm always kind of in the mood for some kind of Michael Jackson song at some point in the day. But this song,
I used to do a mean moonwalk, let me tell you.
no, I gotta see that.
Wait, hold on. All right, hold on. For people who are watching live, let me see if I can. Let's see. Can I go out here? Oh, there we go. Hold on. I gotta change the view. I'm changing the view. We're going full. Oh, wait, nope.
Yeah.
Full screen.
This is AV right here.
We're going full screen. Here we go. Can I do the moonwalk now? I can't. Hold on. I gotta take the headset off. Hold on. For those watching, I'm. Of course, you can't see my feet, but I will do it. I swear, my chair's in the way.
Oh,
Oops. Okay, that's the quality content you come from. For that was that. Okay, but I did do it. Hold on, I can do it again. There, huh? Hold on. Here we go.
okay.
All right, how about that?
Okay, I get you.
All right. Okay, see, now everyone knows
Everyone
knows the era
but we couldn't
that
see,
I grew up.
we couldn't see your feet. So we could.
You couldn't see my feet, but I swear I was doing it.
Okay.
That was the downside of, okay, recenter me. There we go.
All right.
I just had to zoom in. I could have just turned on center stage and made the camera. That was not good that I dropped. How many things did I knock over? But that's okay. And what did I destroy in the back here? Well, that's all right. You know what? This is the quality content people come for.
You can't script that. You can't script.
No. See, but people got to stay to the end, and then the people who listen to the show are going to be like, "Wait, what just happened?"
Yeah.
As I dropped everything off. But I think things survived. I did okay. You know what? I didn't spill my water, so that's good.
That's what you get.
So there we go. All right. Very, very last rapid round question.
Okay.
This is the same. So it's kind of, you get 1 minute. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Pretend if you had your own show. If this were your show, you get 1 minute to do your own monologue, to talk about anything you want, any topic. It's your show. Your time starts now.
My time starts now. Oh man, you put me on the spot. Okay, so if I had a monologue to talk about any on my mind right now, I'm wondering if the DCU will become the new MCU and take over and blow up like Endgame and Infinity War did. So I'm watching those movies now to kind of trace and see what that's going, where that's going. That's one thing I would talk about. The next thing I would talk about, I would ask my host.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you.
Okay, so now you're doing an interview show. So here we
Yeah,
go. I'm
this,
ready to
this
answer.
is the interview show. I ask you, where did you see yourself 10 years ago, and are you there now?
Good question. See, you should have an interview show. That's a good one. I might steal that one,
Okay.
actually. Um, okay, so 10 years ago, I've only been in higher ed for 9 years. I got in 2019, no, 2016 is when I started at Cal Baptist. So yes, before that I was working for House of Worship, but I was working on my master's and PhD. I started my PhD. So I knew I wanted into higher ed. I will tell you that I did not think that I would be in the same place of where I am right now.
Mm.
And by like, I think I have far exceeded the expectation.
So that's good.
And I think it goes back to what we were talking about because of the community, right? And even I think, okay, I started this podcast 7 years ago. And I started it because I didn't know anyone in the industry in our area, right? I was in live events and I come to higher ed and I'm like, I don't know anyone. And so I just started interviewing people. Thought, hey, if I interview a person a week in a year, I'll know 50 people, right? And I just started reaching out to people who I kind of saw in newsletters, saw them here, people I'd kind of met, and started interviewing them. And it was interesting how it just created that community of trajectory of going, what's missing in our industry and what do we need? So I definitely, without that, and without, I wouldn't, like, I know obviously Hetman wouldn't be, but that lightning in a bottle of what we are, and I wouldn't be where I am in my career at all without without that. And so, yeah, no, I mean, I think the answer, I wouldn't have guessed. I would assume I've just been working at the same, working at the school and, running a department, but not being part of this, I'll say global movement.
Wow.
Yeah, no, so that's a good question. That's good. See, you're good at that. See, there we go. Natural. See, a lot of times, well, so writing music, no, that's a performing side. A lot of times AV people don't like the spotlight side.
Mm.
Right?
Yeah,
It's like there's a reason that our uniforms are usually all black, and we like to hide in the back of the room with the lights off. Right? There's a reason for that. So, but you're the opposite of that. So I love it. I love it. This has just been fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on. The very last question. I will put your LinkedIn in the show notes, but how can people get a hold of you and connect with you should they want to get to know you better?
I got a few. You could my personal email, danielray335@gmail.com. I also have my Instagram is I am Daniel Ray. You can find me on Facebook, just Daniel Ray, WRAY, if you're wondering. I'm in Petersburg, Virginia. So if you're looking to try to find my location, if that helps you. I don't know how many Daniel Rays there are on there. So if that helps you find out there. You want me, what, you need my work email?
No, yeah,
No?
we're good. I mean, unless you want to, unless you'd like to get spammed. No. This has just been fantastic. I do encourage people to connect. This has been an incredible conversation. I've loved it. I love where you're going. There's so many things. You floored me already with your nuggets of wisdom, and really even got me thinking. So that is just awesome. So thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And
Really. Yeah, really. Sincerely. Thank you.
of course, my pleasure. And of course, everyone else, of course, you can find me on all of the socials at Josiah Way, and you can please do connect with at HigherEdAV and Hetman_org. And as always, None of the opinions expressed here are necessarily those of any of our respected institutions, sponsors, or really anyone who would want to sue us for our opinions. So that does not apply to them. And beyond that, I do encourage everyone, please go connect and follow, and make sure you find Daniel Wray on the socials and online. And of course, as always, none of the opinions expressed here are necessarily, well, they're not necessarily always good. And if you disagree, there might be better ones next time. Just kidding. Love y'all. We'll see you next time.